as the full moon rises above. This crowd seems a bit wild.
All for you, Floki!
Are you ready for Yule, my friends? And I will give you one of my favorite stories, and I know it's one of your favorites as well. This story is about a wolf. When Allfather Odin returned to Asgard from one of his many journeys across the 9 realms, he was surprised to find the 3 demon children of Loki and the giant Angrboda. Hel, half demon, half woman. Jormungandr, world serpent, and the most fearsome of them all, the wolf, Fenrir. Now, Odin foresaw the future of Ragnarok. He knew what would happen if Lady Hel entered the battle. So he gifted her her own realm in Niflheim, named it after her, and she looked over the underworld for all time to come. Now the great serpent Jormungandr, he started to grow, and Odin took him by the great sea, picked him by the tail. He swung him over his head, and he cast him into the sea. The great serpent slithered around the bottom of Midgard, until at last he bit his own tail and rested at the bottom of the sea. But Odin foresaw how large the wolf would become, and so he made sure that the gods looked after the giant wolf there in Asgard. But only the bravest among them, Lord Tyr, would even approach to feed the wolf. Tyr fostered the wolf for many years, and he grew and grew and grew until Odin knew it would be time to contain his growth. He ordered the smiths of Asgard to produce a heavy chain. They brought the chain forward to where Fenrir's pen was. Odin said, "Why don't you demonstrate your mighty strength, O great Fenrir's wolf? Show us how you are a breaker of chains." Fenrir knew the trickery of the gods. He knew that Odin would be up to something. And so at first he refused. The gods taunted him. They laughed. "Oh, the mighty Fenrir cannot break this chain?" That was too much for the wolf. And so he said, "Bind me with this chain, and I will show you how strong I am." Odin and the gods bound the wolf with the iron chain, and with a shrug of his mighty shoulders, he snapped the links in two. He howled at the gods and ran back to his pen. Now, Odin knew he must then find the greatest smiths in all of Asgard, commanded them to make a heavy steel chain, 10 times the strength of the iron chain. It took 3 gods to carry it, and they brought it forth to the wolf. "Mighty Fenrir, would you demonstrate your strength for us a second time?" But Fenrir was no fool. He knew the gods' trickery again, and so he refused. Again, the gods taunted the wolf, laughing at him, cajoling him, until finally he allowed them to bind him with the steel chain. Again, with a mighty shrug of his shoulders, he snapped the steel in half as if it was nothing. Odin in his wisdom knew there would be no containing the great wolf without magical means. And there are some talents that even the gods of Asgard do not have. So he went to the realm of Svartalfheim, the land of the dwarfs. He went to the sons of Ivaldi, the great smiths, and he asked them to forge a magical chain in which to bind the wolf. Now, the sons of Ivaldi searched all the 9 realms for magical items in which to make such a chain. You might not believe that such things could be forged, but dwarven magic is beyond our knowledge. The sons of Ivaldi used such things as the beard of a woman, the sinews of a bear, the knees of a mountain, the breath of a fish, the spittle of birds, and the footfalls of a cat. Now, many fantastical claims have been made, and one could almost believe anything of a magical item made of such things. The most amazing thing about it, the Gleipnir it was called, it was as thin as a silk thread. Odin went back to Asgard. The gods asked Fenrir to come play. Let's go run and joke and laugh. When the wolf was at ease, Odin produced the Gleipnir from his cloak and said, "Mighty Fenrir, you have broken the chain of iron, the chain of steel. But would you be willing to bind yourself with such a thin thread of silk?" Fenrir knew this to be a trap. He immediately refused. The gods laughed again, and Odin even threatened him with exile. The mighty wolf could not even break such a silk chain and is afraid to even try. Now, Fenrir was no idiot. He said, "I will let you bind me with this chain under one condition. One of you, Aesir, must put your hand inside my mouth as an insurance policy against your trickery." The gods froze. None stepped forward, save one. Mighty Tyr. Lord Tyr, bravest of the gods. There are many Tyr sons among us all here today. Lord Tyr put his hand in the mouth of the wolf. He clamped down slowly as the Gleipnir was wrapped around his throat. Odin secured the silk threads around the body of the wolf. The god stepped back. The wolf shrugged his mighty shoulders. Nothing. He shrugged again. Nothing. Every time he pulled forward, the Gleipnir tightened around him. And the last time he went to shrug, he could not move at all. Fenris knew he had been tricked. He looked at Tyr. Tyr looked at Fenris, and in one swift motion, took his hand at the wrist. The sword hand of the god of war. Tyr did not cry out. He did not even wince. He bandaged his own wound. But the wolf was stuck. Odin approached the wolf. The wolf tried to bite at Odin. Odin stuck a blade, propping open his mouth. The gods took the wolf far below the mountains of Nidavellir, imprisoning him in a cave. where a poisonous river ran from his mouth, where he was to be imprisoned until Ragnarok. Thank you, my friends.